Here's Johnny!
Light those jack-o'-lanterns and try to relax on the sofa, because this week we're looking at the top 10 list of the best movies to watch this Halloween. Hey guys, it's Emily from It's Gone Viral, and thanks so much for checking out the channel. With Halloween only a few days away, we've put together the perfect movie lineup for the spooky season. Now, there are far too many films to mention, so to make everyone's lives easier, we're only including movies that we think are perfect to watch with your family and friends at Halloween, and are in no particular order, because they're all bloody marvellous. So, hardcore horror lovers, this video probably isn't for you, but that's not to say there won't be a few scary selections added into the mix. But before all that though, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for all your favourite celebrity interviews and games. Right, let's get into it. Starting us off at number 10 is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Wes Craven's 1984 classic A Nightmare on Elm Street provided horror fans with one of cinema's most iconic and most terrifying characters, Freddy Krueger. Krueger patiently waits for his victims to fall asleep before brutally murdering them when they're at their most vulnerable, which basically meant that when this movie came out, Craven created a character that was so awful, people couldn't even go to sleep. Freddy aside, another reason why A Nightmare on Elm Street continues to have created such a legacy is because the movie essentially ripped up the rulebook for successful horrors. By the time the movie was released in 1983, horror fans had become bored of the current crop of slasher horror movies. And so Wes Craven created a horror movie that very few people could have seen coming. With Craven's classic moments of dark humour and full-on horror, and a stellar cast of upcoming talent, yes, that is actually Johnny Depp, Craven created a horror movie that became instantly iconic and, perhaps even more impressively, continued to stand the test of time. And here's a fun fact for you, Freddy Krueger is named after a kid who used to bully Wes Craven at school. We think Wes had the last laugh here. Up next is The Blair Witch Project. If you've seen The Blair Witch Project, it's likely you've avoided going anywhere near the woods after dark for fear of your life. The 1999 psychological horror is about three amateur student documentary makers who head, with a handheld camcorder, into a mysterious wood with a reputation for supernatural horror. And predictably, it all goes wrong. This movie was a game changer in the horror genre for its innovative but simplistic production, being shot purely on a camcorder, giving the film a unique, shaky rawness. Directors Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick make the most of having little to no budget to spend on special effects or expensive equipment, and leave a lot of the film to the viewer's imagination. If you fancy something a bit different to witches and ghosts this Halloween, Blair Witch is a must-see.
Apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom.
Tell me where you are, John!
Next up on our list is Edward Scissorhands. Tim Burton's beautifully gothic tale of a man with scissors for hands is a cinematic classic and perfect to watch with your friends and family this Halloween. Starring Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder, Tim Burton's masterpiece is a heartbreaking tale that kick-started the string of successful and magical collaborations between Burton and Depp. Despite it not actually being a scary movie, with its focus much more on the feeling of not belonging in society and seeing the best in people, even if they do have scissors for hands, Edward Scissorhands is a charming gothic tale that just screams spooky season for all the right reasons.
Hold me. I can't.
From a classic of the 90s to a modern day classic, Hush shows us how to make a brilliant horror movie in today's world. Hush tells the fairly common story of a girl being stalked in her home by a knife-wielding murderer, but it has a fairly uncommon twist. The main character is deaf. Once you discover Kate Siegel's character is deaf, it really takes the movie to another level, and it provides you with the perfect mix of psychological thriller and straight-up slasher. This is the movie that really shone a light on Mike Flanagan's ability to make modern-day horror blockbusters, and it's no surprise that since Hush, Flanagan has created the hugely popular series The Haunting of Hill House and its sequel Bly Manor, and he's also directed Warner Brothers' Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. If you're looking to get totally invested in a gory and clever cat and mouse chase, then Hush is absolutely one to watch this Halloween. Up next is another beautiful gothic tale from the mind of Tim Burton that everyone has an opinion on. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a stop-motion animated musical that follows the story of Jack Skellington, the king of Halloween Town, who unexpectedly stumbles upon the delights of Christmas Town and then soon becomes obsessed with the holiday. Here's a fun fact for you: despite Tim Burton's name being plastered all over the movie, he didn't actually direct it. Henry Selick was the man in the director's chair, but Burton was coming off the back of a phenomenal box office streak at the time, and so the studio wanted to make sure that everyone knew that The Nightmare Before Christmas was the brainchild of the man who could do seemingly no wrong.
From the mind of Tim Burton, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And that's exactly what they did by calling it Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, we're sure Henry Selick was delighted by this. With a fantastic musical score accompanying the film by the legendary Danny Elfman, there's something incredibly magical and wholesome about this spooky animated musical that just makes you want to wrap yourself up in your duvet, grab the popcorn and enjoy this nostalgic classic before heading out to do some trick-or-treating. Now, this might be a bit of a controversial one, so hear us out. It's fair to say The Shining was a box office flop when it was released. The film was even met with criticism from the man who wrote the novel it's based on and the king of horror himself, Stephen King. But in the years since, Kubrick's adaptation has earned its place as a horror classic and one to add to your Halloween movie marathon. We think so, at least. The Shining follows troubled writer Jack Torrance as he takes a job as winter caretaker for a hotel high in the Rocky Mountains. He, his wife and their psychic son are isolated until spring after the blizzards blow over. But the evil spirits at the haunted Outlook Hotel eventually drive Jack insane and he goes on a rampage, hell-bent on terrorising his family. Did you know though, the iconic "Here's Johnny" line from Jack Nicholson was totally unscripted, which is ironically now the best known bit of the film. His menacing face still creeps me the out, to be honest. Up next, we have Scream. Starring big names such as Courtney Cox, David Arquette and Drew Barrymore, Scream continues to be a fan favourite. The maestro of horror films himself, Wes Craven, credited for films such as The Hills Have Eyes and number 10 on our list, A Nightmare on Elm Street, carefully crafted this witty but blood-curdling slasher film. Based on a true story of the Gainesville Ripper murders in 1990, Scream is set in the small town of Woodsboro, California, where high school student Sydney Prescott is still trying to process the murder of her mother the year before. When a series of murders begin amongst Sydney's classmates and friends, the killer's specific targeting of Sydney again raises questions about what happened to her mother. And if, like us, you're a Scream fan, we have some great news. Paramount Pictures has released a chilling trailer to the next chapter in the horror story, which is expected to be released early next year. Well, do I really need to explain why this one's on the list? The Halloween franchise has stood the test of time and become a spooky season staple. The original Halloween in 1978, co-written and directed by John Carpenter and starring Jamie Lee Curtis, tells the story of the insane and apparently indestructible Michael Myers as he stalks and kills teenage babysitters on Halloween night. Oh, and did we mention he murdered his sister? The newly released addition to the franchise Halloween Kills takes a trip down memory lane as Jamie Lee Curtis returns as a badass grandma hell-bent on eliminating Michael Myers. Halloween Kills is out now in cinemas. Have you seen it yet? Let us know what you think of it down in the comments below. Moving on from the classic and gory slasher, our ultimate Halloween movie list wouldn't be complete without the 1993 Disney cult classic Hocus Pocus. This undeniably iconic film follows three witch sisters who are brought back from the dead by a gullible teen virgin, so they can suck the lives out of the children of Salem, Massachusetts, and be young and beautiful forever. I think I'll just stick with a good skincare routine, thanks. Despite sounding like a pretty dark plot on its own, this light-hearted comedy starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy is the perfect flick to watch with the whole family on Halloween. It's beautifully camp, the cast is legendary, and the theatrical rendition of I Put a Spell on You is just the cherry on the cake. And let's be honest, has a children's movie ever had so much emphasis on being a virgin?
A virgin lit the candle.
Let's face it, Jordan Peele's 2017 masterpiece was always going to feature on this list, and we think it's the perfect way to round it off. It's hard to believe Get Out was only released 4 years ago, given the huge impact the film has already had in society and the horror genre, with many critics and experts calling it the ultimate modern horror film. Peele does away with the classic horror cliches that are far too often attached to horror movies, such as being chased by a knife-wielding maniac, possessed children, or coming face to face with demons and monsters. Instead, Peele focuses on the terrifying real-life horrors of racism and slavery, as well as exploring the themes of love and betrayal. And, well, let's be honest, every theme and hidden message you can think of is probably in there. Starring Daniel Kaluuya, Alison Williams and Catherine Keener, Get Out is a gripping modern classic that has rewritten the rules of horror and cinema, and it's a very rare example of horror movies that can make you both shit yourself and really make you think about the state of the world we live in.
Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
That's it from us. Thanks so much for joining us on It's Gone Viral. Don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Let us know if you enjoyed this video down in the comments, and of course, have a spooktacular Halloween. Sorry, I cringed even saying that.